Hi, welcome to You Me Mediumship. Tonight the video is based on a question that was asked by a subscriber about earthbound spirits. So rather again than just write a novel, I thought it'd be a lot simpler just to do a video and try and put my answer across more simply than sit there typing away for I don't know how long. So here it is. Here's my answer to that question. I think it's really saying, is there such a thing in a nutshell? Is there such thing as earthbound spirits? Okay, my answer to that, and here we go, we're going to lose some subscribers, but that's what I'm all about. This is what this channel's all about. Not losing subscribers, obviously, but being frank, being honest, being truthful, and trying to get the truth out there in a sense. And hopefully improve things for mediums, for the public, and for the public to get a better understanding, I guess, about spiritual things. This is all based on time that I've spent sat with spirit. It's based on a knowing that I've always had as a child. As I've explained before, my family really has no religious background as such. Spirituality was never spoken about. It's all natural. It's something, we experience things as a family with spirit, but it was never questioned. Like I said, it was never talked about, especially when I was younger. It was just a kind of knowing, not questioned. And like in those days, I guess children were seen and not heard. But I didn't have, a strict upbringing at all. But I was lucky in the respect that, I grew up in the countryside, middle of nowhere, and I had that opportunity to be out in nature, to listen to nature, to experience that freedom, really. And I was very fortunate. It's something I'll always be very grateful for. Anyway, back to the question. Now, if we look at the question, I'll just remind you, is about earthbound spirits. Now, the very element of energy itself, soul, spirit, if you like, okay, we understand it as being free. So already we are edging towards saying it cannot be bound. It cannot be earthbound. Just by that simple statement that, the essence of spirit itself is free. So straight away, like I said, we're kind of saying earthbound spirit does not exist. Obviously need to go in a lot more depth. So we, as obviously human beings, okay, we need all these different labels and things to try and comprehend things. It's a bit like, I think within the comment itself, it spoke of mediums helping them cross the veil. Now, obviously, the first thing we do as a human being is we picture a veil. We picture that boundary. We picture that place at which energy will pass through. That does not exist. It's an expression we use. Lots of people are going to argue that. Lots of people are going to probably unsubscribe. Fine by me. But it does not exist. It is not a physical place. We do not cross a veil. We simply be. So once we have left the body, once this energy has left this body, it will simply, it's kind of like drift. It will just slowly and peacefully drift into another realm of existence. There we go again, another label, a realm. Again, it's not a glass globe or anything like that we go into, and a bit like Earth, I guess. It's not like that at all. It is an existence. It is an energy field, if you like, into which we merge into, and we simply be within that energy. So we are simply being. Our soul itself now is simply being within this body. Okay, we simply be. We do not, it's not something that like in a dream state, when we go to bed at night and we dream, okay, we don't walk through a door, climb a bridge, or climb over a wall. There's not a label on the door saying dream room and we go in there and have a dream. There's no barrier as such. It's just a place that we just simply merge into that energy, and we simply be within that energy, and we experience within it. Okay, so the words of like realms, yes, there are levels and realms. Here we go, more and more labels as we go on, but we simply be within one energy field, if you like, one way of describing it, and then we will simply be within another. We will merge through different states of being. Okay, we kind of drift, if you like, through one into the next, into the next. Obviously slightly different to this experience here on this earth, because we are within a material body. But the soul, like I said, simply exists within this body. It expresses itself through it. Okay, it needs it because it needs to obviously have experience. Without the body, it would not experience what it needs to learn. So that's the whole point of this body. Yes, it's absolutely marvellous. I'm not saying my body is absolutely marvellous at all, but what I'm saying is that the science behind it, okay, the way it functions is absolutely amazing. So we need this body to experience. So once we leave this body, we are then simply, we become this conscious energy. So once the soul leaves the body, this conscious energy carries on within its own existence, if you like, and then will simply be within another energy field. So it passes from within the body and then will drift, if you like, will leave the body and simply drift peacefully into another existence. It cannot, it's a bit like a fish trying to live out of water. It cannot be entrapped. When we say earthbound, it cannot be entrapped within earth, if you like, or it's a funny way of putting it. When I say within earth, it's like digging a hole, isn't it? I don't mean it that way. The way I'm trying to explain it is it cannot become part of this existence or become entrapped within this existence. It's an impossibility for that to happen. Lots of people are going to argue that because they go and they free energies and get them to walk into the light. That energy, that energy has total control over that. And so do the energies around it. Okay, they will not in any way, shape or form prevent that energy from passing. It's a natural occurrence. It's like the seasons. It's like, in a way, it's like us saying the seasons have got stuck. I know sometimes it feels like it because winter goes on forever, but they do not. It's a natural thing that the seasons will flow, and it is a natural thing that the soul will pass from body to the next state of existence. It is purely natural. It doesn't get held up or in a queue or anything like that, or get earthbound. Now, if an energy is sensed within a certain area, say like a house, in a wood or something, and is sensed there constantly, it wouldn't be constant, but it would be when a medium or a sensitive is within that place, they feel that that energy spends an awful lot of time there. There are two things I need to say. One is this energy being generated from the surroundings? So in other words, it's that playback that I've spoken of in the past, or is that energy simply, yes, may well have a reason for coming back into that area, may well not necessarily, I don't call it a grudge, they may well have concern over maybe a loved one. So will be the visitation side of things may be quite a constant thing. So this energy will drift back into that energy field because of a concern that it may have. It is not bound there, and at any point that energy can simply drift away. So there's no reason at all that we should be saying that an energy is earthbound. It cannot be earthbound. It's totally unnatural, and like I just said, like a fish out of water, it cannot and will not exist within this earth energy. It's impossible. So we need to maybe, if it's like I said, if when you dream, okay, or if you say you drifted into unconsciousness, obviously we'd never want that to happen. But if you drifted into a state of unconsciousness, okay, you don't cross any barrier to get to that point. You simply, like the expression says, you simply drift into that state of being. And when the soul leaves the body, it drifts into the next state of being. And that will occur, obviously not from body, but that soul, that energy will drift into the next state of being. And this is a process, a natural, I need to underline that fact, a natural process for it to drift into different states of being as it progresses. Okay? So it doesn't cross a veil. There is no veil as such. It's just an expression we use to try and explain something. The problem is, I think, especially with spirituality, with mediumship, we need as human beings to be able to comprehend it. A lot of it, an awful lot of it, we cannot comprehend. We just simply cannot comprehend it. We haven't got the ability to do that. That's why we're very restricted in our senses. We are very limited in our senses as to what we can see, what we can hear, etc. There are many more colours, there are many more vibrations that we are not physically capable of receiving and understanding. So there is people, I think the problem is when it's described like that, people start to visualize. So they visualize veils, they visualize worlds. So we talk of spirit worlds. So the first thing they do is visualize a world with, motorways and houses and all that sort of thing. It's just, they are just labels that we give things so we can, as human beings, try and understand them and try and comprehend them. So when we talk of realms, okay, spirit worlds, spirit realms, if you like, they are just different states of being, a place where the soul experiences. So the only way, really, that a medium, if you like, can help an energy move forward, move on, okay, we are not releasing them from anywhere. They are released. They are free. They are free to move on. Okay, there are lots of rules and things, I say rules, another human label, I guess, but there are natural occurrences that happen, okay, throughout that moving forward for a soul. There are things that soul itself needs to understand, needs to accept for it to be able to drift into that next level of existence. Right? That alone is probably a novel. But so a medium is not releasing any soul into a light. Okay. It's sad that you think you are, because by no means, okay, does anyone have that amount of power to push an energy into a state of being that it's not ready to go into. No, no, you do not have that power to do that. That energy is the only thing itself, personally, if you like, okay, is the only thing that can move it on. So that needs to accept, it needs to understand lots of things it needs to do before it will move on into that next state of existence. We will not be moving it, it will move itself. The thing that we can do, okay, if that energy has, like I said earlier, maybe a concern for a loved one, which maybe a couple that have been together all their lives, maybe married 60, 70 years, or even less, it doesn't matter, but have that strong love bond. You've got that concern of leaving your loved one behind. Okay, so that energy may well visit a number of times, may well merge with, now I'm going to call this source, okay? I'm not going to go down the religious route with this at all. Okay? Yes, it's God, it's what we label as a God, if you like. But this energy, this pure energy source exists around us now, exists within all levels that this soul will eventually pass through. That part of that soul, that source, that love energy that is within it, is capable of merging with what we have around us now within this level of existence. So it can move through both energy states of energy, if you like. So it can visit, it can come back. That's what we communicate with, that energy field, that personality, that consciousness as it drifts in to our energy field, into our level of consciousness. Okay, our spiritual being, that part of us that communicates with that part of them. So it can drift in and out. Now, for a good medium will sense this energy, and if it senses it, that it's been there a long time, or it wouldn't be a long time, it visits an awful lot. Okay, if that energy visits an awful lot, then sometimes I think a medium can go, unfortunately, very human on this and think that energy is earthbound and can't leave that particular place. No, that's not the case at all. That energy can leave, like I said, when it wishes to, but has that concern. The best thing we can do is put that concern at rest. Now, if we have a good line of communication with that energy, we will know what that level of concern is, what is going on. Okay, and through communication, that can be resolved, that energy will feel put at ease, and may well decide at that point, it will then understand that it needs to move on. It's part of its progress, it needs to do that. That's how I've worked with energies in the past. Okay, they have not been bound there at all. It is simply through choice. They are not lost and stuck anywhere. It's impossible. So I simply work with them. And believe me, and as simple as this sounds, a lot of time with energies that continue this visitation in certain places, in certain rooms, okay, it's simply they just need to be acknowledged. Because you can virtually guarantee that I'll give you a scenario. If we talk of, say, an energy continually sensed within a house, the chances are maybe had a strong attraction to that house, loved it, lived there for many, many years. So yes, it will there will be a visitation type of thing occurring. Okay, but that eventually would end anyway as the energy progresses, as that soul progresses into the next stage of its journey. So that would naturally end anyway. So that scenario, it loves this house, okay? There will be numerous visitations, maybe for a while, for a period of our time, okay? And it's a natural thing. Same if, like I said, if they'd left a loved one and they were concerned about leaving them, that the visitations would be very regular. The problem is the medium would go in there. Maybe somebody has asked that medium to go in there because things are continually happening. And the problem is a medium will go in and say, yes, it's earthbound, it has concerns. I'm going to see the energy into the light and let them... Right, no, it doesn't work that way. Like I said, the only way you can do this is through acknowledging that energy, which is 9 times out of 10 on its own is enough to allow that energy to progress. Well, I'll say allow, that's the wrong word, to help that energy progress. That's all it needs sometimes is acknowledgement. Or just that line of communication with a good medium, okay, who will, if there's, say, a loved one left in that house, you would open up that line of communication. It could simply be that that energy just wants to say, I am fine. Please be happy for me. I am fine. Once you've done that, once you've passed that message on to the loved one that is left behind, okay, you can virtually guarantee that that energy will then progress. Okay, it will then drift and become part of that next stage of its journey, that next place of progression, if you like, the next step on that stepping stone. So, probably confused everybody. I hope I haven't, but that, is my answer to that question. Okay, I do not believe for 1 minute that any energy will become earthbound. It cannot. It's totally against nature in more ways than one. The natural existence of soul, and it is a natural thing, is as the seasons turn year in, year out. And just as the seasons do not stop, nor will the progression of the soul. There is a lot more to it than just passing through different levels of progression. Okay, there are bits to add in there, but it will not become bound at all. It has an option, and it knows what its options are. Okay, for a medium to try and explain about going through the light to an energy is absolutely ridiculous, I'm afraid, in my eyes. This is in my eyes. If I've upset anybody by what I've said, I apologise. I really do apologise. But I can only say it as it is. I can't do any different than that. Anyhow, please hopefully like and subscribe. There's lots more questions I've got to catch up on, and believe me, you're not being ignored. If you've left comments on my other videos, you are not being ignored. It's just very, very busy, and I'm just working my way through things as quickly as I can. So please take care. Have a great evening. I hope that answers the question for the subscriber. Totally sorry. Yes, I hope that's answered the question for you. And please leave any comments, and like and subscribe. Go over to Passion if you would like for me to help you with your development. There's little course thing I'm doing just for an hour a month with people across the world at the moment. It's absolutely fascinating, and I thoroughly enjoy that. I love doing it. And take care. I'll speak to you all soon. I'll put a link on for my Patreon in the description if you're interested at all. And like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.